Hi, my name is Marie Chudializa. I'm one of the librarians here at Pacific Oaks. I'm going to go over what's new in APA 7 for students. The first thing I want to talk about is the student paper templates. They are available to download on the library website. We have one for undergraduate students and one for graduate students. And I'm just going to show you where to do that. If you come to the library website, you'll see this APA 7 tab. And these papers are both available to download here. We also have a sample paper, an annotated paper, reference examples, which are very useful, and a guide on how to create a reference list. While we're here, I want to show you some of the other APA support we have. The APA formatting tab goes over all your formatting, so your margins, your font, your spacing, that sort of thing. Citing different material, it's grouped by media. So let's look at the articles, for example. This page, we show you exactly what elements you're going to need for your reference citation. We have a generic example, so you know what position everything goes in and what it should look like. And then we give many specific examples for different periodical reference citations. So the one you'll use most as a student is the electronic journal article, and we have an example here for you to follow so you can make sure that you're doing your APA citations correctly when you're writing your papers. We have a section here on APA headings. I'm going to go into that a little more deeply in just a moment. In-text citations are here, and block quotes are here. The reference page tab tells you how to lay out your reference page and shows you an example of what it ought to look like. And finally, tables and figures. So let's just look at figures. We list all the components needed. Here is a download of sample figures for you to look at because there are many types of figures you can use. And here's an illustrated and annotated figure. So undergrad students will no longer be using running heads in their papers. Graduate students will. There is a difference now. We no longer include the words running head in front of the running head. So other than that, it's the same. So it is 50 characters or fewer, capital letters, left-hand side of the page. All titles and headers are now bold. So this is a paper title. And here is your reference header, bold. Header levels have been simplified. They are now all bold and all in title case, but some are italicized and they are in different positions, illustrated here, 1 through 5. So here's an example of header levels in use. This is the title of the paper. So it is using music genres to explain APA 7 heading levels. Here's the introduction. And then we're starting with header level 1, all music. So the header levels go from broadest to narrow. So starting with all music, that's a very broad category. That's all music in the world ever. Next, at level 2, we have Western modern music, and that is a subcategory of all music. So it's a bit narrower. Then we go to header level 3, contemporary music, which is a subcategory of Western modern music. And then we go to level 4, which is rock and roll music, which is a subcategory of contemporary music. And finally to 5, heavy metal, which is a subcategory of rock and roll. So broadest to narrowest. As a student, you will be using 1 through 3 frequently, and 4 and 5 less so. The use of ital in in-text citations has changed. It's also become simplified. So if we have 1 or 2 authors, we use them as they appear in all our in-text citations. If we have 3 or more authors, we use et al. In the first instance and in every instance. So in this example, we see we have 3 authors that wrote this article. We list the first author and et al. And the year. A few of the reference citations have also changed. In web pages, we are now including the site name if the article has authors. So it would go after the title of the page. So here we see Lopez is listed as the author. We have the date. Here's the page title. And then here is the site name and the URL. Another change in web pages is that we no longer write retrieved from ahead of the URL. We just list the URL. When authors are not listed, we use the site name as the author. So in this case, if Lopez were not listed as the author, the site name UCLA Semel Institute would be here. Book reference citations have changed slightly. We no longer include the publisher location. Previously, the city and state would have gone right here ahead of the publisher, and now we don't list them at all. Journal articles with up to 20 authors, we list all of the authors now. If the work has 21 or more authors, we list the first 19 and then a spaced ellipsis and then the very last author. And then as before, we have the year, the title of the article, the title of the journal, the volume number, the issue number, the page range, and the DOI. All DOIs now use the same preface. Previously, there were 3 different prefaces you could use. So now we're just using this one. Every DOI starts with a 1, 0, and a period. So everything that is before that, you would remove and replace it with this so that it looks like this. So we no longer list retrieved from ahead of our URLs. All our URLs should be live. They should be clickable links. And now long URLs can be shortened using a link shortener such as bit.ly or tinyURL. If you have any questions about APA 7, we're happy to help. Please get in touch with us. We're at 626-529-8451, or you can email us at library@pacificoaks.edu.